Everyone's seen me videoing, so everyone's laughing at me. Good morning guys, and welcome back to another video. This video is a Q&A style video because if you haven't seen on my social medias this week, huge changes. It's official that I have made the decision to change my flag, so I will now represent Poland moving forward in tournaments around the world. I had actually loads and loads of questions because I think that it's not a clear process, and I think people are interested to know what that means. Hopefully be able to answer those questions and make everything a little bit clearer. I've withdrawn from the European, so one of the questions was why have I withdrawn from the European Championships in 3 weeks' time? Basically, to be able to change my flag, I now forego any chance to represent Wales at European Championships, World Championships and Commonwealth Games. That was one of the sacrifices that I had to make to be able to change my flag. So of course, being extremely patriotic and really loving being from Wales and being specifically from Pembrokeshire in Little Wales, that this decision was like a really, really huge decision for me, and I'm really comfortable with the decision that I made, so that's the main thing. So yeah, that means that I won't be in the Europeans in a couple of weeks. So many questions about deciding factors of making the move and changing my flag. One thing that is huge here is development of players, and I think that is in the forefront of everything that happens here in Poland. And I think not being part of a national system before in this way, of course there are negatives, but there are a lot of positives, and I feel like this environment is really aimed at players and supporting players and helping players be the best that they can be, and that's all that, for me, that's all I want to do, is be the best that I can be. So it's a no-brainer for me, really. And I think actually for me, especially me, the type of person that I am, how I am feeling off the court also reflects on the court. This move will hopefully, well, I know it will. I know that this environment is going to help me because the quality and the variety, but also just the comfort and the support every day that I receive is a great thing. So I'm really lucky. You know, I am coming to the back end of my career, and I want to make the most out of it, and I feel like being here in Poland with an environment that I can thrive in, with continuity with my coach who has helped me gain that success that I've had, is really important. So like I said previously, I've given up all representation at major championships, which actually to some people is like one of their main goals in their career, is to represent their country at these championships. So it really wasn't an easy decision to make, especially with Commonwealth Games only being like a year out. Personal point of view, you know, I'm living in a country that of course I've been made to feel welcome in, and I'm really lucky to be here. But for me, my dream would be able to be at home with my family. I had to, sorry, I got a bit upset then talking about that. Yeah, so, stop getting upset. Okay, so my dream would be to live in the house that is next door to my mum and dad. Okay, sorry, take like 500 of this question. For me, I would love to be at home, living next door to my mum and dad. That would be my dream environment. Everyone that knows me, I had so many text messages when I first moved here, like, wait, what, you're moving? Of course I've lived in England for a long time, but I still can just get in the car and drive to see my mum and dad. That's one of the main things, is especially now that I can't go home, like, and they're not able to come and see me, like, the world just doesn't allow it. I've made great friends here now, and the things I would like to say, like, the players have been extremely supportive. and I'm very grateful for that. But at the end of the day, I'm still a little Welsh girl in Poland, a little bit on her own. In terms of badminton, for me, I can only see this as a positive move. But of course, personally, there are things that I have to sacrifice, which of course all athletes have to sacrifice. Yeah, let's move on from that question. I can't believe I got upset saying that. Oh, sorry. Guys, we're going to pause the questions there. I need to start warming up for training. So I will catch you back when I have finished. So we're going to do some of the longer questions now, and then I'll jump into some more lighter, quick fire ones. So a lot of questions about NGBs. Actually quite funny timing, because Victor Axelsen released a statement literally the other day about NGBs. The main thing for me that springs to mind is, if you look at athletes at the pinnacle of their career, it's not just an athlete doing it by themselves. Of course, there are exceptions to everything, but it's a team. And although I received limited funding for some of my tournaments, if you ever saw my coach at any of that tournaments, that was funded by the Bank of the Hart family. And paying for tournaments is not cheap. Players will know, and actually it's getting worse and worse because you have to stay longer in hotels. Flights are really difficult right now because of the pandemic, so it's really difficult to be alone and try and, for me anyway, and try and get the best out of yourself. Badminton is, of course, is such a difficult sport. So now being part of a national team, hopefully I will be able to gain more support. Luckily, the changing of flag has no effect on my world ranking. It just has an effect on what I can participate in. And right now, for example, my next tournament will probably be India Open, and this week that was entered by Poland. So India Open will probably be my first tournament with a Polish flag next to my name. So I will miss out on points that I could gain at major championships, because of course, like we said before, I'm not able to play them. So that could affect my world ranking if, of course, other players can gain those points. But yeah, I think for me, it's okay. I'm happy with the decision. Being undervalued by your NGB. For any sports person, I feel like trust is a major part of success. And if you feel undervalued, then you have to surround yourself with people that bring positivity and believe in what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve. I only found this when I was 23, so it was quite later on in my career that I found this. This is something that really can affect your whole career and mental well-being, not just as an athlete, but just as a person. It's so important to go and seek out the right people. That would be my advice. People that can help you. Because feeling undervalued and not having trust in that relationship or that partnership is just a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. So I hope that people don't have to wait until they're 23 to find that. There's loads and loads and loads of differences. Purely time-wise, I think that athletes or badminton players in Wales are offered, I think, 6 hours a week training right now in terms of being an elite athlete and being an elite badminton player. I mean, it's just not, you can't, in my opinion, that type of level of training, how are you supposed to compete with people that are doing 20, 30-hour weeks? I know we always, as Europeans, look at the Asian style of training and, you know, it's so much volume. So just from that alone, you can't be a full-time athlete with 6 hours a week. That's just not possible. In terms of support, I think that one of the major things and benefits for me being here is support staff. So I'm able to access physio for the first time on a regular basis. I'm able to access, we have gym on site, swimming pool. We have the availability to work with doctors and if there are injuries. that's all like at my fingertips, which I've never had before, which is pretty cool, especially as I'm getting a little bit older and the muscles aren't recovering as quickly as I would like. So moving on for that question, onto the next one. In my opinion, I really struggle to see how players at the present moment in time can achieve that level of success with a national system that offers that. That's my personal opinion, but I think that'll be a lot of people's opinion also. Unfortunately, it's just not a viable. It's not a viable option to be a full-time badminton player at that type of level. 15-year-old me was the biggest and the strongest, or one of the biggest and the strongest juniors, so I had a lot of success. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be a really successful international senior player. So my advice would be, don't get bogged down and carried away with junior results and success, because there's a huge difference between being a good junior and being a good senior. Slightly shorter and less probably heavy answers to these questions. So my goal is just to really settle into my new environment and really get to grips with it, because it is a huge change for me, and environment is everything. At the end of the day, we're here to improve my world ranking, and that's the goal, and it's to be the highest world ranking and the best badminton player that I can be. I'd say within the next year I'd like to be top 50 in the world, but a really stable top 50 in the world. As you climb up the world rankings, the stepping stones get smaller and smaller, because of course the level is getting higher and higher. It's really easy to jump from 600 to 400 or 400 to 200, but the further you climb, the harder it is. I'm not somebody that works well with long-term goals, so when I work with my coach, we work in stepping stones, because I cannot see further than 1 month, 2 months ahead. That really overwhelms me. So that's the plan for my world ranking. I need to be a better thinker, so I need to be a better thinker when things aren't going well. I'm quite good when things are going well, but I need to be able to be more tactically aware and be able to change things by myself. And I think that will then help with consistency of results, because that's the main aim, is to be consistently a threat in tournaments, and that's what I want to achieve. I want people to see my name and think, okay, I'm in for a tough game here. And I think that I have the foundation and the ability to do that. I think I found it just before lockdown a little bit, and I'm a player that likes to play a lot, so I would like to get back in the swing of things with tournaments. It's really difficult right now, but I'm hoping that, you know, the world resumes a little bit of normality quite soon. This is such a lush question. Of course, my family, you've seen that a few minutes ago. I think that Wales is a really close-knit country. Having now lived in other countries, it's quite, you don't really know when you live there. It's like that. You think that's the same everywhere, but it's really not. I do miss like the comfort and like the homely feeling. I think it would have been a lot easier if I was able to go home weekends, which was the plan when I first moved here. Not every weekend, but just be able to travel home a little bit. But of course, coronavirus had other ideas. Yeah, and the beach. I live like 5-minute drive from the beach. So right now I live in quite a rural area, but you can't just drive to the beach and have a walk on the beach. So probably that. The answer to this question is yes. But sometimes when you step on the court, your emotions completely override any preparation or any process that you have. And this is something that I'm working on. Sometimes your emotions just take over. So for example, I try to prepare as much the same as possible, but sometimes I walk on the court and it's a great performance, and sometimes I walk on the court and it's not great. So this is something that I'm working on a lot, and something that will help me, if I can sort it out, will help me for sure with some of my results. Of course, probably it's natural that your favourite locations are ones that you've probably performed well at. All England is like a crazy tournament with a lot of history that everyone kind of loves going to. For me, my heart is in Jamaica because it's the first tournament I won. I will talk about Jamaica forever. The feeling of winning my first tournament was incredible. So this for sure has a really special place in my heart. We always try to choose really upbeat songs in training. I always am on SoundCloud searching like Beyonce remix or just like really cool songs that are remixed in like a fast beat. And also there are times where I am in charge of music and we will have Disney and we will have High School Musical. So 1 minute it could be Kanye West, the next minute it could be Troy and Gabriella singing Breaking Free. So you never really know when DJ Jord is in charge, but it's definitely a wide range of music, I would say. First of all, anything that the amazing Wiki Dobczynska makes me, because she is next level baker, she is unreal. And I really love Polish food. So I've tried like pierogi and their soups, amazing soups. They put magic in their soups for sure. Cucumber soup, Brussels sprout soup, nothing that I would ever usually have, but amazing, really good food. I'm gonna end by saying, unbelievable amount of support I have received. The messages, the likes, the comments, the support from the Polish Federation, the support from the players. I was really nervous to announce it this week and I've been quite anxious all week. I just can't thank everyone enough. This has been a really mad few months, few years, and I hope now that things are improving and things are getting better. I know they are. And thank you so much to everyone that's messaged me or even just liked my post. Like, it means so much. I do look at all of them. Next week I can bring you something exciting, which I'm looking forward to. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, please subscribe, and I hope that everyone is safe and well and have a great weekend.